Hello, and welcome to this video, where I'll be demonstrating how to use a browser extension I created, which can inject thousands of XSS payloads into a given input field and automatically determine if a website is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Let's copy the payload from the task, paste it into the first input field and click Enter. The input gets reflected in the response below. Submitting the same payload in the second input field executes the payload in the browser and displays the user's cookies in an alert box. We can use the browser extension to automate this process in cases where we want to test hundreds or thousands of payloads rather than trying them all manually. After pasting the URL in the extension, it will automatically extract the parameters from it and display them in the drop-down menu. Let's select input 1, which is the safe input. We can go to the Payloads tab, enter a payload in the text area, and click Save Payloads. After running the scan, we can see the payload executed and is reported to be safe, which is what we expected. If we change the parameter to input 2, and run the scan again, we can see it now reports the payload is valid, which means the input 2 parameter is not properly handled by the application. Let's modify the payload and make it invalid by adding an extra T to alert. After running the scan, it now reports the payload is safe. We can also supply multiple payloads and run the scan. Pay attention to the tabs in the browser as this scan runs. We can also upload a text file containing payloads. In this example, we have imported 10,000 payloads. All scan information can be found in the Results tab. As you can see, each scan shows the URL, the parameter that was tested, the payload that was executed, the date and time when the payload was executed, and the validity of the payload, i.e., safe or valid. We can click on Export Results, which will automatically download a text file with all the information from the Results tab. The URL is no longer displayed as we closed the extension. The payloads from the file we uploaded do not appear either, as we did not click on Save Payloads. However, the results can still be seen as we did not clear our history. You may have noticed there was a slight delay between each of the requests when we supplied multiple payloads. We can go to the Settings tab and change the delay between concurrent requests to a lower value, such as 1 millisecond, and run the scan again. Let's run it one more time with input 2 as the parameter. You can see the results were obtained a lot faster in both cases compared to when 500 milliseconds was chosen. We can also change the timeout value to prevent a scan from waiting indefinitely for an application to respond. This also allows for flexibility in applications that we know will take longer than normal to load. There is also an option to automatically stop a scan from running as soon as it finds the first valid payload. We currently have 3 payloads saved. Running the scan only shows one payload as it was the first payload that was valid. If we insert an invalid payload first, we can expect the scan to stop running after the second payload and display only 2 payloads. At the beginning of the video, we logged into the application in order to access the vulnerable page. This means the extension is capable of performing authenticated scans without the need for the user to directly supply credentials or session cookies to the extension. To illustrate this, we can log out of the application, and this time, all payloads will be reported as safe, as we are no longer authenticated. This brings us to the end of the video. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on how this tool could be improved. Thank you for watching, and remember to always hack responsibly.